Yahweh gon' judge all the flesh by fire and the sword. I study scripts and be with my brothers on one accord. Can't serve two masters, you do that, you gon' get torn. That demon lust heavy, you dying looking at porn. Look you in the mirror, that's how we edify righteous. Social media vices, addicted to devices. Don't be lukewarm, be hot or cold as the ice is. Let your yes be yes and no be no, behold the prices. Self-examine every day, I seek the kingdom, cause your spirit battles even when you're sleeping. When I wake up, I said prayer, thank the Abba. All my riches are in heaven, let me stack up. Oh, you thought that I just do this for an Instagram post. You didn't realize this is all that Issachar knows. Yahweh tries the righteous, but his being shall hate the wrong. So I praise Yahweh with my fear and sing a song. I wake up and I praise him, go to sleep and I praise him. All is good and I praise him, all is bad I still praise him. I look up to the sky and I praise the Most High. I look up to the sky and I praise the Most High. They don't like that all they talk about is Bible this and Bible that. If I don't diss it, probably slap me, probably play it back. But I don't care, so I just pray in fact. Here's hoping you can find the light. Used to be a candle, now I'm dynamite. Live for Yahweh, I could die tonight. That's in the name of Yahweh Shai. Look in the sky for the coming of Christ. Look in the book if you need some advice. You wanna work to examine yourself? Look in the mirror and open your eyes. He who has an ear, I'll tell you something. You can sell your soul for a couple hundred. Careful in this world of who you summon. Don't go lose yourself for love of money. Now I'm humbled all the way, I figured I'm the temple now. Most High got me out, religious scriptures what I'm into now. Genesis to Revelation, talking about my people now. Yasher Allah on the right, so tell me who's illegal now. They put a border up, knowing that my people set apart. Time's running up, they run amok. 11:59 coming on 12 o'clock. So I stay up and I'm vigilant. Pray to the Most High, I'm intimate. I tell him I'm down in my sentiments, knowing I cannot express in my sentences. So I wake up and I praise him, go to sleep and I praise him. All is good and I praise him, all is bad I still praise him. I look up to the sky and I praise the Most High. I look up to the sky and I praise the Most High.
Hey, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Barakatah.
Hey, Shalom, y'all Bashim, y'all Shabbarakatah.
How you doing? How you doing?
Hey, man, we're pushing through, man, trying to during these times. You know what we're in right now, man, so most I got us up, though, man. How about you, brother?
Pretty good, pretty good. Having a good Sabbath so far. Just got a study done with the rib. So the name of this lesson is going to be called Reproach, or Covering Egypt, or a Man of Yahawah. Right? So I'm going to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahawah, and we do so in the name of his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, whom the world ignorantly calls Christ, or Jesus Christ, right? Kwam Yasharala, Shalamat, Yahweh Shai Bratatham, daughter of Zion, Shalom, Shah Shabbat. Right, so we're going to start in 1 Timothy, the 5th chapter. Right, and what made me or gave me the idea of the Spirit to do this was several sisters lately within the past days, weeks, months have been asking basically what do they do if they're single. And then also as well today, man, I saw a video. I don't know if you came across it out, but I saw a video that there was a sister. I don't even know if she's a sister. She was saying Jesus Christ. She probably isn't in the truth unless maybe she's IUIC, something like that. But she was saying that she doesn't need no man in these last days because Jesus is her covering, right?
Hey, look, man, and it's crazy this is happening, man, because you know, I hopped on the live real quick, just made a statement about it. I'm gonna do a lesson on it myself as well. I'm sure it's something else that myself and you and Howie Yala, we're gonna set up and try to do a lesson on the church Yahbashim Yahushua as well.
Come,
Um, but it's a big thing, man, because like the situation right here with sisters got to understand, they got to humble down, especially in these times that are popping up. They really, sisters, y'all really, and this is not to bash y'all by any means. We love y'all, man. Because we love y'all got to give the leadership to men, man. Men of the Lord, y'all got to give the leadership, man, because you're not going to be talking all this nonsense when the Most High put men in charge to lead you. In the
come,
times of trouble, you're going to be following men. So when you say, "Oh, God is my husband, Jesus is my husband, I'm married to him," no, you're not. Go read the book of First Corinthians, and he'll tell you, you're right. Go read the book of First Corinthians, go
come,
to 11, and he'll tell you. Go to Ephesians 5 and 22 down, and he'll tell you what the order goes. He's not about to make you skip the men when he's married. How shy? Go ahead, man. I'm not gonna talk up the whole. Go ahead, man.
hey, Con, we'll definitely go over those scriptures, but what it comes down to, you know, is First Corinthians 14 and 40. All things have to be done decently and in order. And and like you said, a lot of sisters, what it comes down to is they don't want to be in order and they don't want to be humble, right? So so we're gonna start in First Timothy 5 and 10.
Uh-huh.
If you want to go ahead and read that, Baba Kashag.
Oh, yeah, I got you. Give me just a second.
Con. But we're definitely going to touch on Ephesians, the 5th chapter. Exactly what you said, 22 on down. I mean, that hits it on the head of what a woman is supposed to, or the order of the house, right?
Con.
Manuel Yacharala, Ashar Shabbat, daughter of Zion, is that Hud Mona Lisa's husband? Khan, that's her husband, her head. Jomar Shabbat Shalom. He had some things. Khan.
Shalom, man. Y'all better send y'all Shabrak without the brother Jomar, man.
Khan. The brother had some stuff going on, so he wasn't able to hop on, but most high willing tomorrow, the next day, he'll get on the next one.
Con.
So if you want to go ahead and start on 10,
you said First Timothy 5 and 10, right?
Khan.
All right. Well reported of for good works, if she have brought up children, if she have loud strangers, if she have washed the saints' feet, if she have relieved the afflicted, if she have diligently followed every good work. But the younger widows refuse, for when they have began to wax wanton against Hamashiach, they will marry.
Khan. So how many women do you think want to bring up children? How many women are willing to wash the saints' feet or their husband's feet even?
That
Right?
number real low.
Real low. And what did Yahushua do? He had a day left to live. He washed feet, right? So if he was doing that, and you won't even do that for your head, who's supposed to be the example or representative of Yahushua in your house, that's not a good sign, right? And then verse 11, it says, "But the younger widows refuse, for when they have begun to wax wanton against Hamashiach, they will marry." So a lot of them start waxing, and I've seen this as well. Salaki, I accidentally muted you up. There you go.
Good.
When they if you think about it this way, right? Let's be honest. The majority of sisters are not virgins when it comes to marriage, right? They've been with a previous man, which in according to the word should have been their husbands, but of course with Yahushua there comes mercy, comes grace, right? But in a sense, they are widows spiritually when you think about it, because those men are basically dead to them, right? They don't even, that doesn't even come to mind to them,
Uh,
right? So it says having damnation because they have cast off their, oh, Salakia. It says when they become wanting against Yahushua, they will marry. I don't know about you, but I've seen a lot of women that they come into the truth and they don't find a head that's in the truth, and then they end up marrying a brother that's not in the truth.
yeah, yeah. I haven't, you know what? I haven't come across too many of them, to be honest. I haven't come across too many of those scenarios, but I've heard of them, a few of them, and it's going backwards because look, it's already like sister's already the weaker vessel, right? They
Come,
already the weaker vessel. So when you go and you're dealing with a man that's not moving in the same way you moving, all that's going to do is help that pull that Satan can already have access to you, you being a single sister, right? He has access to all of us because we in the flesh, right? But don't
come,
get it twisted. But when it comes to women, y'all are the weaker vessel. So he can easily just pull y'all right along. And now when you marry a man, you have to, again, when you marry a man that's not in this faith, you still those things still apply. You still have wifely duties. You still have to, he's still your head,
come,
regardless. So now he has a worldly influence. So now guess what? He gonna take you to the gym on the Shabbat day, right? Or you can work out, go do the stuff of the world, and it's easy for women to fall back into the set of the world because this world is set up for y'all, man. So it's easy. That's why we commend y'all sisters for coming into this because you literally are giving up the world. The world is catered the way Esau has it. He's catered it to
come.
y'all. So when y'all have a worldly man, that's going to just push you even further away. That's going to push you further away. It's going to be hard. You're going to make it really hard on yourself. You're gonna make it real hard on yourself by moving in the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Come. It's gonna be real hard for you to follow this truth and real easy to fall back into the world, right? So if you want to keep going on the verse 12,
Come. Having damnation because they have cast off their first faith.
and they're having damnation because they're willing to cast off Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai for a worldly man, right? If you want
Come.
to get if you want to read two more verses, Baba Kashaf.
Come. And withal, they learn to be idle, wandering about from house to house, and not only idle, but tattlers also, and busybodies, speaking things which they ought not. I will therefore that the younger woman marry, bear children, guide the house, give none occasion to uh, the adversary to speak reproachfully.
So it says with all they learn to be idle. That's a big problem with, I mean, men and women in general. But like you said, the woman being the weaker vessel, I mean, being idle, it like in Sirach, it says idleness, send them to work. Idleness teaches much evil, much wickedness,
Oh,
right? When you're idle, you have nothing to do. That's why it says that um I will therefore that the younger women marry, bear children, guide the house, because you give less occasion to Satan, like you said, to get access to you, right?
oh, exactly. Hey, it's that hedge, man. Because my fault, Lock. I didn't mean take the floor
No,
away
Khan,
from
go ahead,
you.
go ahead.
No, it's that hedge, man, which we'll get into further. Like the brother said, but it's that hedge of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. When you got The order, just like, hey, we as the men, we following Yahweh Shah. To get to Yahweh, we following Yahweh Shah. The red carpet is lined up already. We following him. And guess what? The same way we've got to follow him, the same way you women have to follow the man, the lead of the man, right? It's the same thing. So you have to submit yourself to follow as well, because that's your hedge, that's your protection. Especially if y'all, for y'all women that are married, for y'all women that are unmarried, well, and we're getting into that. So it is best for you to be married. I mean, in this walk, especially the times that are coming up ahead. And to the right, brothers, of course, which we'll get into that. We'll bring that up along as well, of course. To the right, to the understanding the right pathway and some guidelines, if we may do that, we may get into that.
Con. If you want to get Sirach, I think it's 36 to 25. Since you mentioned the hedge. I'm gonna read 36 to 25. I'm gonna read 1 Corinthians 11 and 3 real quick. 1 Corinthians 11 and 3. I would have you know that the head of every man is the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Hamashiach is Yahweh. This is the order that the Most High set up for the household. This is the order to be under. And not only does the woman do this, but also the man has to fall under this as well, like the brother said, right? Man has to fall under this as well. And like the brother said, if the man falling under this order, if the man isn't under the Most High, then it's going to be way easier for you to not fall under the Most High and the example that Hamashiach gave. It's like the saying in the world, like, cut off the head and so falls the body, right? You cut off the head of the household, and the majority of the time that the body's going to fall as well.
Running, saying, right, what you just said, the saying, you run around like a chicken with the head cut off, you know.
And a lot of sisters are just like that, running around with like a chicken with their head cut off, right? So you want to go read that Sirach?
Oh yeah, no doubt. Book of Sirach, chapter 36, verse 25. Where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled, and he that have no wife will wander up and down mourning. So, hey, where there's no hedge, like the brother mentioned, where you don't have the man being there, that possession is gonna get spoiled. It's like you got the you ever had we take it back, if you had CDs, right? If you didn't have the person there, even if they bought it and they open it up, just kind of sits there and collects dust. All of a sudden now it's not working the same. Anything you just let it sit there, it gets spoiled. You know what I'm saying? Now Satan has a way. So going into this, Satan has a way to get to that possession, because why? It's just gonna be just like Eve. If the hedge is not there for protection, Satan has easy access. He can start telling you, hey, sister, remember when you was out there in the world, how much money you was making? You was out there making trips to Las Vegas, right? You had all this attention from all these men, all these women, whatever the case may be. That stuff can happen. You said, forget this. Now you got to cover yourself. You can dress how you want, girl. Like, you start hearing stuff like that, and it starts coming back to you like, yo, you know what? I really was kind of getting money when I was out here doing this. I can't really do half the things that I was doing. No, you can't, but it's for your own good. This is for your own good, and it's so much better to come, when walking in this way. When Satan can talk to you, when you don't have your head of protection to keep you in line, you got to obey your head too, not just him being there. You got to take heed to his order, and of course, as long as the brother is doing this in righteousness according to the ways of Yahweh Shem Shah, right? As long as he's doing according so to this, You gotta go in the corner. You gotta go in line with it. Unless the possession be spoiled. Man.
Con. It's like back in high school, you have a girl, right? You have a girlfriend, and if someone says something slick to her, and then what? She wants you to say something, right? Or she
Yeah.
wants you to do something. But if she doesn't have no one there with her, then what's gonna happen? Right? Same thing
Yeah.
with Satan. And that's a beautiful example, like you said, like with Eve. You don't have your head there because you're the weaker vessel, you're gonna be a lot more likely to fall into that. Right? So
Yeah,
this is Isaiah 13. I'm gonna read 15 and 16. Right? And this is talking about the desolation of Babylon. So 15 says, every one that is found shall be thrust through, and every one that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. Right? So now, I mean, me and the brother here being married, that's the last thing we would want to see. Right? But like the word is always going to be true. All these prophecies are going to come to pass. And this is the last thing that we want to happen to our households, to our families, to our brethren's families, right? But like he read, and like it said in Sirach 36 or 36, I believe, where there's no hedge, the possession is spoiled, right? And it's going to be a lot easier. It's going to be like Book of Eli times, right? Even worse than that.
Yeah.
You ever seen the Book of Eli? You know when they found that couple on the side of the road, that's exactly what they did to the woman, right? Ravished her, stole their stuff. They were spoiled.
Hey,
So
and the girl, right? I forgot her name. But the one Mila Kunis played.
Con.
She was. Hey, that was about to happen to her too. But Denzel's Eli came through. Eli came through there and was the protection. He was he was the protection for her. That would have happened to her though had he not came by.
Con, and he was a man of the word, right?
Man, come on, man.
And who was the villain? Esau.
Esau. It just they tell you they give you all the examples, all that they tell you and show you the stuff right in it, man. They let you know, and that book wasn't for him.
Con.
They let you just like Esau. That book is not for y'all, man. Not for y'all true Edomites.
Con, and Denzel even said that, right?
Con. Con. Oh
Hey,
my goodness, man.
hey, and Esau was trying to use it for what Christianity uses it for too, to control people, right?
Con.
So that was real spiritual right there.
Very.
And I'm sure you've seen a lot of the news articles and stuff like that going around. I believe it was today or yesterday. France basically said it's constitutional for the vaccine to be mandated for medical workers, right? And then of course what's happening in New York and now California is doing the same thing, where you can't go into public places unless you have it, right? Then in the Philippines, there's you can't go and grocery shop, whether it be like a big store or whether it be a little market, anything like that, unless you have proof as well.
And I didn't know about the Philippines situation. I didn't know about that one.
Cons. So I mean, a lot of sisters are seeing this, and like I said, there's some reaching out to me and stuff like that, and that's why I wanted to do this lesson. But again, there's more sisters in that other spirit of I don't need a man, Christ is my husband, God is my husband, this type of spirit, right? Which a lot of sisters are gonna fall by that spirit.
Yeah, let's Yeah. You mind if I'm gonna pull out a precept? Can I get something?
Come on.
Let's get book of Isaiah chapter 3, right? And let's get let's start off with let's start off with I'll start off right here with 11. Isaiah 3 and 11 for right now. I might jump
Come on.
down. All right. It's the book of Isaiah chapter 3 verse 11. Woe unto the wicked, it shall be ill with him, for the reward of his hand shall be given him. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the way of thy path. See, it's causing to destroy the way of the path right here when you have your children and your women leading over the men. And that's part of the curses these are part of the curses that we're suffering. This is why the land is the way it is right now. It causes destruction, man. We're going into error because the order's out of whack. When we don't listen to Yahweh and we don't follow Yahweh through Yahweh Shai, hey, boom, guess what? Well, yep, the children rule over you, your women rule over you, and everything is out of order. It's destruction. It's madness, man. The
Come on.
Lord, verse 13, the Lord standeth up to plead and standeth to judge the people. The Lord will enter into judgment with the ancients of his people and the princes thereof, for ye have eaten up the vineyard and spoiled the poor is in your houses. What mean ye that ye beat my people to pieces and grendel the faces of the poor, saith Yahweh, power of hosts? Moreover, Yahweh saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walking with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and menacing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet, therefore Yahweh will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and Yahweh will discover their secret parts. So, like, hey, man, the confidence, the level that a lot of sisters have with, and we're not sitting here saying that it's like it's bad that you, yeah, y'all, we know, we understand that we as Israelites, we got the most beautiful women on the planet, man. Y'all are, but y'all just got to make sure that y'all keep it to a level. There's an even balance to this thing. Feel good about yourself, but don't exalt yourself because of how good you may look, right? Because at the end
Come
of the
on.
day, the Most High controls everything. He runs everything. He can take your good looks away, right? That's and these times that are about to approach, you're not. It's not gonna matter how good you look. As a matter of fact, you won't be looking good. Like you're not gonna want to look good in these times because hey, man, it's about to be crazy. Men see a woman looking good on there, especially you talking about you don't have a man. Man, they ain't no look, man. It's gonna be a lawless society. It's a purge. Anything can happen. If he wants you, he ain't gonna ask for your number. He gonna grab you. He gonna instead of taking your number, he's going to take you. And if you don't have a hedge of, y'all really can't underestimate that hedge of protection, man. Like now, we're not saying that sisters that right. Doesn't if a sister doesn't have a head because that's not what the Most High may have put them around them in that particular point, whatever it may be. We're not saying you can't receive salvation, but for y'all sisters that, especially that have come across a man of the Lord, or y'all within a situation, man, don't mess that up. You know what I'm saying? You want to stay on there because that is your hedge. Whether it be it could be just a brother. It don't even have to be that's your husband. That could be a brother. You might need to stay in connection with that brother because hey, look, you don't got nobody else around you. You may need to stay around that because even women in the Lord in the old times, right, during the Book of Kings, things like that, they were calling them their judges. And that wasn't their husbands necessarily, but they were still around these brothers, taking heed and listening, right?
Come on. I got a precept real quick for Isaiah 3 and 12. This is Jeremiah. So like Jeremiah 31 and 22. It says, how long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For Yahweh hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. Right? So you could look at that a couple different ways. Like, what is the compass used for? It's used for direction, right?
Right.
So a lot of women are the ones giving direction in these days, like you said. But then also, I believe was it the brother Yeshaya, I think, or someone else that had posted about the difference between men and women, right? There's many more women than there is men, right? like the ratio, and that's for a reason, right? That's one of the things that's going to come into play when you go down to Isaiah 4:1 in the last days, right?
Oh yeah.
But we can keep going on Isaiah the 3rd chapter if you want to keep going with that.
We obviously we're gonna have to touch upon it. We're gonna. I think it's a given. We're gonna get Isaiah 4:1, right?
We might as well read all the way down.
Con. You should back to Isaiah 3, right?
Come.
All right. Where? Let me see where I stopped at last. I think
It
it
was
was.
like 18, 19.
Yeah, it was 6. I think I stopped at 16. Oh no, you're right. You're right. You're right. 18. 18. Um, book Isaiah chapter 3, verse 18. And that day Yahweh will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet, and their calves and their round tires like the moon, the chains and the bracelets and the mufflers, the bonnets and the ornaments of the legs, and the headbands and the tablets and the earrings, the rings and the nose jewels, the changeable suits of apparel, right? And the mantles, the wimples and the crisping pins, the glasses, the fine linen, and the hoods, and the veils. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink. And instead of a girdle, a rent, and instead of well set hair, baldness. And instead of a stomacher, a girding of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty.
Come. So basically saying all that stuff, all that vanity that women put a lot of women, they really depend on the clothes, the shoes, the jewelry, the weaves, the makeup, all of these things,
Yeah.
right? It's all going to be taken away from you.
Mm-hmm.
That's why in Proverbs 31, let me get it real quick, 31 and 30, it says this: favor is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth Yahweh, she shall be praised. You're going to realize in these last days that beauty was all vanity, and fearing the Most High is all that really matters, right?
Con.
The brother, the brother Daniel Allah said they depend on pretty privilege. Con.
Hey, shalom to the brother Daniela, man. Y'all about to shoot y'all shot rocket. Nah, it's facts though. Now, a lot of them do. Not all sisters, of course, but a lot of them do, man. That really is a thing because especially when you're coming out of the world. And again, we understand. It's a tough scenario coming out of the world, and when everything is being given to you and handed to you, it's a different feel. It's not like us men. We treat him like the bottom. We on the bottom regardless, whether you're in the world or not. We don't. The difference is being in this truth. Obviously, we know there's something greater to come, but we understand why this is going on, and we have a chance of something greater to come. But when you're talking about women, I mean, look, the temptation's always there because it feels like it's better for you here because, and again, key word, it feels like it feels like you have the illusion that it's better for you here because of the things that are being offered to you. So you got to look at yourself like what Yahushua did when he was being offered in Matthew 4, right? When he was being tempted in the desert, man. And Satan said, I'll give you all of this. Now I know, hey, nobody's Yahushua here, right? But we want to strive to all be as close as we can to him. So if he's the example, y'all women got to try that much harder to resist that. Resist when Satan tells you to buck up against your husband, right? When he's trying to do things right, decently, and in order. You don't want to get into that, man. Um, the apparel, all of that stuff, that's cool, but like what the brother Joachim said, man, don't get caught up in the vanity of it, right? I think it was was it Titus 2:4? It was either Titus 2:4 or it was no, I think it was First Timothy 2:9. Could you get that for me real quick?
Con. Yeah, me and my rib were actually going over some of those precepts as well. That shamefacedness is something that a lot of sisters don't have.
It's a growing process too. Don't get it wrong, we're not, but just be striving for it. Be work for that. Right, work. Start doing something every day. Maybe start walking outside the house without having on these ornaments. Start getting into the phase, man. So you start learning it, get into it. Because we know Esau's been telling y'all to, hey man, y'all every woman, man, y'all can flex your muscles, wear jeans, y'all can do what men do. Right? We know Esau's been telling y'all that, man. But the scriptures don't tell you that. The scriptures don't tell you you're every woman. Right?
And like you said, I mean, it's a process, and that's what the scriptures say: offend less, right? Turn back to the Most High and offend less. It's not going to be tomorrow. You're perfect. You know what I'm saying? So this is First Timothy 2:9. In like manner, also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broidered hair or gold or pearls or costly array, but which becometh women professing godliness with good works. All right, was that what you wanted to talk
Con, that's it. Yeah, not don't. Again, it goes back to the vanity that you brought up. Like, don't be caught up in that. It's not saying you can't wear these things. You can't. If you want to put on a little bit of, you know, what I mean, don't go crazy with it. Just, you know, if you want to do a little bit of Taj makeup, maybe a little blush or something. Okay, all right. No, don't go crazy. Look like yourself. You know what I'm saying? Don't look like a whole new person. You know, keep it in moderation. There's a balance to everything, but don't
about?
put yourself like that holds what you are. And that's the problem. That holds what you are. Whatever all these things, all these ornaments that we read in Isaiah, the stuff that it listed, the crispy pins. That's why the Most High says he's going to take all these things away. He's going to, yeah. Then y'all, then y'all. He said they must. Y'all stop. He said, but and that's going to happen though. That's the brother commented. That's going to happen though. You the real essence of you guys is going to be there. So a lot of sisters are gonna have to be. Let's keep it 100, and we're gonna get into Isaiah. A lot of sisters are gonna be humbled just in that time. They're not gonna get it before, and they're gonna be humbled in that time. If the Most High still wants them, they'll be humbled in that time. You're gonna get humbled. Everyone's gonna get humbled before the kingdom comes. That's for sure. That's for sure. So if it ain't before Jacob's trouble, and you're a woman that's meant to make it to the kingdom, Yahweh willing, then hey, you're gonna see it in Jacob's trouble. You're gonna be humbled then. Because it ain't I'm telling you, we're trying to help sisters now because we know it is being taught and a lot of false doctrines out there. Women thinking they can teach now. That's off. That's off, man.
Hey, every sister's thinking they're Deborah Aqua. There's only one Deborah in the scriptures. And guess what? She was married too.
Come on, huh? It doesn't. All these women, when you look at all these women as examples, they were like the brother just said. They all had some lead or authority over them, moving them. They didn't do anything. If they was righteous sisters, they were righteous sisters, right? They didn't do anything of their own will. They didn't come up and be like, where can you find a righteous sister in the Bible? Anyone can jump up and tell me if they want to. They can tell me and the brother Joachim. Where can you find a righteous sister in the Bible that went against the authority of righteous men in the Bible? Or even men in general, because I remember example Abigail, right? Abigail didn't even buck against her husband, who was folly. She did what she was supposed to do as a wife, and the Most High took care of the rest.
Everybody wants the blessings and all these good things, and they want to be, but they don't want to fall into the order. You know what I mean? And when it comes to, like, if you read Ruth, the 3rd chapter, that's the type of spirit that women are going to be in that point in time. Like you said, once it comes to Jacob's trouble, that's going to be for those that were meant to make it make it through these things. A lot of them are going to be humbled that day. You know.
And there was a question too. Daughter of Zion question. A lot of men in the truth talk about single sisters finding a hedge, but it's not like we could just go get a husband at the store. Do y'all have any advice on finding a hedge? Well, you want me to start? You want me to start it off?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll start off. I'll pass the ball back to you. The first step, and we're not gonna, because the lesson's not about this. You can refer back to we can go into a very little bit, but the lesson you can refer back to the lesson that myself, Joachim, and the brother Hawayala did on the baptism lesson. For one, um, in the name of Yahweh Shai, of course, the name of our Lord and Savior. That's a step. A brother believing in Yahweh Shai, and then by you truly believing in Him, you're gonna be you're gonna take that protocol and that step, right, that initiation into the faith and being baptized in His name. I tell that I've told that to sisters. I tell that to the sisters in my household, right? You know, hey, look, if a brother trying to court you, whatever, you gotta believe in this.
Con.
Because you got to believe in this. Those are the first two: believe in the name, and then the baptism. If you those from that point, you can make a deduction and go from there. But if you can't even get through the baptism part, then that ain't it. Because you want to be with someone who truly believes. If someone who truly believes ain't gonna take a step for your Yahweh Shai just to get in the water in faith, hey, that 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 tells you what you need to hear right there. So I'm gonna pass. Go ahead, you got it out. I'm gonna behind the back.
Con. I mean, what the brother said, like some people want to say that baptism is all about works, or it's all about it's real fleshly, it's carnal, right? But like the brother said, when you really think about it, to get baptized, it's the perfect balance. Like the brother was talking about balance, it's the perfect balance of faith and works, right? You have to have faith in Yahweh Shai, in His sacrifice, in His name, in that our Son, and that He sent Him to die for our sins. And then you do the work, and you actually make that move to get in the water and get that remission of sins. You know what I'm saying? So if a brother, like you said, that's the initiation, that's the beginning. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I tell people, like, I've known of the truth for about 5 years, a little more than 5 years, but I've only been really in the truth for maybe a year ago that I got baptized, right? So it all starts with that initiation, I would say, like the brother said, and then you go from there. I mean, the Most High is going to make it happen either way. But what I would definitely say on that, just to touch one other thing that I've seen a lot, is a few sisters will ask me this same, along the lines of the same question, and I'll ask them, okay, well, have you, in a sense, not have you put yourself out there? Like, has any brothers reached out to you? Because I'm sure you know, if you have a Israelite woman, which is beautiful, how many DMs do you think she gets a day?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. And that's that's one of the reasons why my rib doesn't have a Instagram no more. But she made the decision, she didn't want to do it no more. Distraction, this, that, and the other. But besides the point, it's not that you need to so much find one. It's that you need to pray for one, that you need to get that remission of sins become new. And it's like it says in Psalms, I believe it's 37, where it says to delight yourself in Yahweh, and He'll give you the desires of your heart, right? He'll set everything up. But the point that I was going to make is that there's some sisters that they're like, oh, yeah, well, I don't answer any messages, or I block people if they message me, or these brothers, any brother that messages me, like, they just cut them off. How are you going to find a husband like that? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I would definitely say go back to that lesson. Go back to did one on recording and friends, spirit, stuff like that. I think that would definitely help. But if you want to go ahead and finish Isaiah, the 3rd chapter, go back to it.
Stop that. Let's see. Would you want to go back up to the 22 or 21 with the girling? You want to go to 22 or
Khan, that's good.
all right? Isaiah 3 and 22. The changeable suits of apparel and the mantles and the wimples and the crisping pins, the glasses and the fine linen and the hoods and the veils. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink, and instead of girdle, a rent, and instead of well set hair, baldness, and instead of a stomacher, a grinding of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty.
Khan. I mean, just going back to that book of Eli. Do you remember that part where they found some shampoo?
Oh man, God,
That's how it's
oh
gonna
man,
be.
for real, man. Like it's yo, it's not gonna be a good like you gotta understand. Like at that time, I mean, it's not to be graphic, but just to be real. Like it's stuff a lot of people we talk about this type of stuff. I talk about this to the sisters, and yo, when the times come, bro, like you're not gonna be laced up thinking you come like it says, it's gonna be taken away the fine linen. You're not about to be Gucci'd out. You're
Khan,
not about to have all the fancy head wrap. It's just not about to happen. Like because at that time you're not even gonna be thinking about that. You like
Khan,
yes, it says it's gonna be stink. You're not gonna have basically we're getting at all the things that you may the glamour and the shine, the bling that you may have at the time, that you can't put your faith in that. It's gonna be gone. And you're not even gonna have time to even really wash yourself the way you need to be able to. Let's keep it 100, man. You're not gonna be able to. So really in showing that I don't need a man spirit, nah, it's that's why let me get the book, guys. Let's go a chapter over, man. Let's go. I mean, well, we'll go a chapter over Isaiah 4. We'll get that. It's gonna tell you, man. Like y'all gonna have to really understand that. Oh, dang, and y'all will at that time. I really need to be under a hedge, or if you're with that guy, man, you might even more. You might even. Hey, man, Eve might appreciate Jake more in that time. You might have a
Khan,
wife that really didn't even understand how important that her man was to her until when that moment arrives, be like, yo, Kahala Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai out loud or in her mind, whatever the case may be. In that time, you're really understanding how important that man is.
Khan. It's funny because me and my rib were talking about it. Like, most women, what's gonna happen if something breaks in their house? What happens if their car messes up? Right, they can't start it. They got a flat tire. Little things like that, right? So imagine when, for lack of a better term, when the shit hits the fan and Jacob's trouble is really bad. Imagine how much more they're gonna want to humble down in order to get a man, and especially a man of the Most High.
Calm, calm. That's what's gonna have to be because I can, the Most High I'm convinced. This is not something I see flat out in the scripts, but I'm convinced, me personally, that the Most High is gonna put the spirit men of the elect that are in those times. The Most High is gonna put the spirit on these men to not deal with none of that nonsense, man. He's not the stuff that a man probably would have dealt with, or probably is dealing with now, or would have dealt with before. Let you slide on this or that. Hey, during those times, he gonna put the spirit on the man not to be dealing with that. You come up with that crap, he gonna make you put you in your place, or you gonna be out the group. You're gonna be out. Like he's not gonna be. Men are not gonna be dealing with that. So women gonna have to be compliant to the men of this times. And again, this is men of righteousness. So doing everything decently in order, you're actually blaspheming the word by not doing what he says by a man doing of righteous, sent to the Most High. It says blaspheming the word. I gotta find that. There might be Titus 2 and 4. We'll look for that. But yeah.
Yeah, that's in Titus 2. I'm gonna finish off the chapter real quick. So this is 25 or Isaiah 3 and 25.
Flock out.
Thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war. Right. So we know World War III is gonna happen, But there's all types of wars going on right now. There's a war on crime. There's a war on drugs. There's a war, but it all comes down to that spiritual war that we're all living out. And think about it this way: if you're in a war and you don't fight, what's going to happen to you?
Yeah.
You're going to die, right?
Yeah.
Now, how many men and women, but it's talking about men here, how many men are not trying to fight that spiritual battle? Right, and that comes back to the curses, and that comes back to Romans 6:23. The wage of sin is death. Right, a lot of men are gonna die because of their sin. Right, and then what's gonna happen? Verse 26: and her gates shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground. Right, a lot of women are gonna be desolate, gonna be lamenting and mourning. They're gonna be sad. Just picture Eve just sitting there, no man, Jacob's trouble, no food, no cover, right?
Con, con,
And I mean, that's like the brother said. We're not trying to bash on those sisters or nothing like that. It's all out of love. Wouldn't you rather right now humble yourself and join a righteous man's house rather than have to go through all of these things and then get humbled later on and then end up doing the same thing? You could skip all the lamenting, the mourning, the desolation if you would just humble yourself now, right?
and that's if you that's if the Most High has favor on you too, because
Huh.
sometimes the Most High doesn't always he has mercy on who he has mercy on. So you never know. You don't want to play the card where he's like, well, you had your chance. I put you around somebody, and then hey, you never know. You just or gave you an opportunity to be around somebody. You don't want to take that gamble, man. So
Gone. I was talking to a brother about that yesterday, actually, how we were saying it's funny because he gave a sister the opportunity some time ago, and he wasn't too well off in a financial situation. I mean, he had things in order and stuff, but he's in a better position now. And at that point in time, the sister she didn't want nothing to do with him, basically. But now that he's in a better position, right now she sees all these things coming to pass. But guess what? Now she's got a child with another man. So he's like, "Hey, man, that train passed already, man. You know what I'm saying? That train left the station. You're late. You think you got a ticket, but the train's already gone."
yeah, yeah, that's the cold train. That's that cold train in the Super Bowl commercial. That's
Con,
gone. That's gone.
con, and that's after baptism too,
Say that again.
and that's after baptism too.
Oh, that
You
was
know what I'm
after.
saying?
Oh, okay.
It wasn't. I don't think it wasn't the right name, but still, that's after. That just goes to show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, yeah. That's why we say baptism in the name of Yahweh Shah too as well. That's the big thing. It's who you getting done, under the name of the Messiah really it matters. So, but yeah, just y'all gotta think about it, and those are steps. Just figuring out who righteous men are. Just go into that. Get y'all. We're not saying sisters be thirsty on men neither. We're not saying that. Like the brother said, he said pray, and I'll give y'all advice that told me, man. My elder told me, man. He said, hey, man, it's something that he was told. Saying pray for a wife. Like if you're a man, right? So he said, if you're a man, pray for a wife that loves the Most High more than she loves you.
Con,
And likewise, if you're a woman, pray for a man that loves the Most High and Yahweh Shai more than he loves you, right? Because at the end of the day, that prayer is getting sent into the Most High. He's understanding, what I'm saying? He's understanding, and it could be a need to you. It could be for you. So he could send that to you, man, at any given time. It might be Jacob's trouble. It might be right before that. Things are happening now. Things are actually at that time. He could be setting
con,
things up. to be prepared for that time. Yeah. There's many different ways of how this thing is being enacted.
Calm. And to go along with what you said, the brother Daniel Allah said, that's why sisters need a man who loves them through the word, right? And then how you said, the man needs to love the Most High more than the woman, and the woman needs to love the man more than the Most High. I'm gonna read Tobit chapter 8, and so this is when Tobias was about to be married, right? And they got locked in a marriage chamber together. And so what that means. You're gonna consummate the marriage. You're gonna have sex. You're gonna become married, right? Become one flesh. So what did he do when they got locked in together? This is Tobit 8:4. And after that, they were both shut in together. Tobias rose out of bed and said, "Sister, arise and let us pray that Yahweh would have pity on us." Right, verse 7. And now, O Yahweh, I take not this my sister for lust, but uprightly. Therefore, mercifully ordain, that we may become aged together. Right. So Tobias got locked in the marriage chamber to consummate the marriage. And most brothers know what they were going to do. They get locked in there. What are they going to do? They're going to get right to it, right? Tobias, he said, "Come down here with me." Got down on his knees, prayed to the Most High, said, "I'm not taking her for lust. I'm taking her uprightly. So mercifully ordain that we may become aged together." Right? And that's a perfect example of somebody loving the Most High more than the woman that he's with, because he knew that it had to be through the Most High in order for that to even work out.
Beautiful precept too. That's a beautiful precept.
Calm. So if you want to go back to, let's go to Isaiah 4:1.
Yeah, let's go ahead and knock out everyone's favorite.
Calm.
The book of Isaiah chapter 4 verse 1. And then in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, "We will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach." And so already know where that goes. 7 women, and not necessarily 7 women, though it could be 7 women, but it's just a number of completion. It could be 1 woman, could be 2, could be 3, and the list goes down. So these women, however many women, depending on the brother's lot in these times, right? If it's that brother's lot, have women and be of the Lord that'll come to him, saying, "Let me take away, hey, let me just be called by thy name." Being married and linked to a brother, they'll be that brother's wife, and you gotta understand, like, we understand, like, there's still, especially sisters that are just coming in, and sisters that have been in here for a little bit, still haven't warned. There's sisters that even there's sisters that even fight polygamy. So it's like, you gotta understand, a lot of ones that, well, that's not gonna matter. Whatever your stance is, whether you're for it, against it, that's not gonna matter in those times. For the sisters that are taught, they're gonna, hey, drop that out the window. They know this is for survival. This is, you gotta think about this too. This is another thing, right? When it comes to, like, there's no way women are just falling in love with these men, like falling in love with the man in this particular time. They know what they're doing this for. This is protection, which is the wants and things that happen within a marriage as well. It's a protective. You understand the dynamic, so they're going to cleave to that one man, right? They're going to do it for protection, because you don't have the time to really get to know. Hey, well, Jake, what's your favorite color? You know, what's your favorite shoes? What shoe size do you wear? I wanted to get you some. No, there ain't gonna be time for none of that. There's none of that going on right now. So they understand what it is, and they know a man, like Isaiah 13:12, a man is a fine gold, right? They're gonna be refined as fine gold during those times, though, because we as men, the S word, we ain't, we ain't none of that right now in this society. But in that time, men are gonna be like on the fine gold, especially speaking of men of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So, yeah, that's not gonna matter in terms of, that's gonna be all out the window because it's about protection.
And that's why it's a good idea for sisters to start trying to humble themselves down now and pray for, and if possible, join a man that's striving for righteousness' house. Because would you rather do it in these times or in those times? Right.
Hey, another thing too, I got to bring this out too. We go to Isaiah 4:1. I think it's even more important to go down to Isaiah 4:4. So I'm gonna read, if you don't mind, I'm gonna read down verse 2. And this is definitely talking about the time of trouble. This isn't talking about it. Some people like to say this isn't talking about the time of trouble. Some people like to say this is the kingdom. This ain't talking about the kingdom, right? It clearly says reproach right here. Verse 2, in that day shall the branch of Yahweh be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel. And it shall come to pass that he that is left in Zion and he that remaineth in Jerusalem shall be called holy, even everyone that is written among the living in Jerusalem. When Yahweh shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion, and shall have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof, by the spirit of judgment and by the spirit of burning. So what does that mean? That means that women are not going to have those same traits that we're talking about that need to be rid of. And we're being honest, like this whole trial period is going to be to refine us, right? It's going to be a refine trial for men and women, even children, maybe to an extent. But hey, look, this talk, and if we're speaking specifically here, it's talking about the filth. The filth. What's that filth? That filth is this westernized mentality that Babylon has put on, especially on our women, man. The thought process, the way they act towards the men, all of that. That's going to be washed away by judgment. It's the spirit of judgment by the spirit of burning. All of the stuff that's going along here, man. And you never know, man. You never know how the Most High may humble a sister down. We don't know. It's best to, like the brothers keep saying, hey, it's best to be working on it now, because you may be bucking up in the time, and the Most High, you might, and this for real, we don't know. There's so many different scenarios to this. That's what people don't think about. We just think a lot of times. At least I think Israel looks at it in one straight tunnel vision of things, when there's a multitude of way how things can go. So it could still be very well be a sister that is in the faith, right? That she is going to be actually delivered. She could be a chosen to be delivered. But guess what? Maybe she's so headstrong. She's so heavy against her husband or whoever it is, or the man, the brother that's there, trying to lead her, and she's bucking so hard that the Most High has to humble her a different way. And you know what I'm saying? There's many other ways that could happen. She could still be chosen, but she might have to go through that just for her to sit down and to accept the leadership, man. And it's sad it has to get to that level, but that could happen. There's so many different scenarios how things could play out, man.
Like you mentioned earlier, every man has his own lot, every woman has her own lot. Things are going to happen differently, and the Most High has many ways to humble many different people, right? But so the title of the lesson was reproach or covering, right? Reproach or covering or a man of the Most High. So the reproach, which we just read in Isaiah 4:1, it says to take away thy reproach. Let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach, right? But most women nowadays, I'm gonna go to Isaiah 30. I'm gonna read 1 and 2. I'm gonna mute your mic real quick while I do it out because I'm getting like feedback.
Okay.
The water. So it says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, strengthen themselves to trust in the shadow of Egypt." Right? So you know, if you're in the shadow of something, that means that you're being covered by, would rather be covered by Egypt. Right? They think they're doing good as a single woman, single mother, whatever the case may be. They're getting food stamps, they're getting Section 8 housing, Medicaid, whatever the case may be. And you know, one of the prerequisites, one of the things you got to do to get that housing, you can't have a man, right? So they'd rather be covered by Egypt. But what does it say? It says, "Woe to the rebellious children," and it says that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit. And then it says they trust in the shadow of Egypt. Like I said, if you're in the shadow of Egypt, you're under that. But guess what? Whatever happens or whatever befalls Egypt, if you're covered by Egypt, that's going to happen to you too.
Con, con, and that Egypt is bondage. So you know how that goes, man.
Calm.
But go ahead.
Women would rather trust in Egypt. A lot of women, not all women, would rather trust in Egypt than to try and fulfill their marriage duty.
Mm,
That's harder. That's harder for them. It's easier to trust in the system that keeps you in bondage. But like the brother said, you're in charge in this system. So you would rather do that than go into a marriage where you're gonna have to listen to a man, or you're gonna have to cook, or you're gonna have to take care of your children, or you're gonna have to do all these other things. That's too hard, right?
that's facts, man. Hey, what does it say, man? That's why Yahushua say he said, "Remember Lot's wife, man."
Calm,
What did she do? She couldn't not turn around, man. She had to turn around. She had to disobey. She had to look back because she couldn't let go of the past, of what the memories were back then. She didn't make it, man.
calm.
That's not that's not a situation. Forget that's another one, man. Let's get that. Not turning your hand back to the plow, man.
Calm. Let me get it.
Um,
You want me to read it out?
got it.
Salakia. 1 second.
Oh no, you gotta take your time. Take your time. Yeah, man. But that's you can't look back, man. Can't like don't be thinking about the past memories and things that you've had or what could be here. Think about the kingdom, man. The kingdom's on the way.
Hey, and that's one of Satan's biggest distraction. One of Satan's biggest weapons is just distracting you.
Con,
A lot of people think, well, I'm not sinning, I'm not doing it's not a sin if I do this. You're being distracted and you're not paying attention to the things at hand, right? And the kingdom is at hand.
come on, man. Come on out.
So this is Luke 9:62. And Yahushua said unto him, "No man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of Yahweh."
Mm. Read that again, out.
And Yahushua said unto him, "No man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of Yahweh."
Yes, you can't be over here whole, you're trying to get on the Yahweh Shah tells you get up on the spaceship, man, and you got your hand right here, and you be like this. Thinking about your Louis Fandles that got blown up. You know what I mean? Like, hey, nah, man, we ain't. It's no time for that, man. You gotta move. We gotta move full speed ahead, man. That's why. Hey, what do y'all say? Howard Shai said. He said you also have to hate your life here, man. You have to be. You really have to be willing to hate your life. And like, for example, there's going to be people that are taken up. They might not go through Jacob's trouble. There's going to be people that get taken up and taken in trial for counsel, man. Not for counsel, but in the council of the synagogue. And they may put you to death. They may put you to death there. So you have to really hate your life, be willing to die for this thing, and not be thinking about those things, those past things. You got to be willing to look ahead, because all this stuff here is full of pain anyway, man. It's nothing but pain anyway. The stuff, the division of our people is horrible, and it can't be fixed. It really can't be fixed. The only way it's going to work is the believers in Yahweh Shai. That's the only way you're going to unify. The curses that are run upon us. That's how we know we're not in the new covenant, man. Look at all these curses that are upon us, man. You know what I mean? Like, the curses are still on us to this day. They on us, bro. So, even and with the division we have in the households with men and women, man. I just did something on a live real quick where it was the whole different Deuteronomy 24:1, but the whole topic was we shouldn't even have to get into those things, like Israel playing marriage musical chairs, man.
Divorce.
Yeah, when it goes into the bill of divorce, and we shouldn't even have to get into those things, because Israel's playing. Yahweh Shai magnified that so heavy in Matthew 19. He went into that. Just he exerted that to the point where it's, hey, look, when you become one, you're one. You shouldn't even have to be looking at that type of thing, like whatever the case is in terms of that. You move forward. We're not playing musical chairs here, and I think that's a problem in Israel. You see one sister with the next, one man not trying to deal with this sister, and she's with another brother. It's a mess, man. It's a mess up in this society, man. I know that's not necessarily the topic, but that's what it is. That's why we're having troubles. This is why we're having troubles. So you got to be willing to put that old life truly ahead. Being baptized is to the remission of sins, going forward and starting anew. So that's what you really want to do. Put that old life behind you and move forward anew, and go into your process of sanctification.
And now that you brought that up, it's interesting as well, because I was talking to a brother that's from one of the biggest camps, the most well-known camps, who obviously, the majority of them don't believe in water baptism. And he was saying how women are defiled here, and they're this and that and the other. They've been with multiple men and all these things. But then the in his camp that are higher up still marry and get multiple wives and things of that nature, right? So I asked him, if you don't believe in baptism, then at what point do these women become new to where you can marry them again? Because like you said, and in this camp, one of the elders from this camp said, hey, you need to watch out for the women you're getting, because there's a specific woman. She was married to a brother in one city of our camp, on the camp, in one city. They got divorced, she left, whatever, and now she's married to another brother in the same camp in another city. But they don't believe in water baptism.
Hey, that's the key. And sisters, that's the key, man. Look, because there's a lot of false doctrines out here, right? And this can be, and I'm glad you brought that up, because there's a lot of false doctrines out here too, where you may hear something like, hopefully this has died down, but like it's been around where, oh, you got to go marry the first guy that you were actually with, like when you slept with this person in the world, so now you coming into the truth, and you gotta go back to that person. That's nonsense. Now I'll say this, like the brother said, you are coming into knowledge in the fold. But being baptized truly gives you that cleansing. When you get baptized in the name of Yahweh Shai, it is like you're a virgin again. Obviously, we know you can't physically in this lifetime. It's not a physical thing where you can ever get that back. But from a spiritual standpoint and the way we look at it, hey, a sister is a new sister. She's a new sister when she gets baptized in the name of Yahweh. Just like we're new men. When we get baptized in the name of Yahweh Shai, you're putting that away. You're starting over as that new man, truly. And as sisters, y'all doing the same. So your slate is white clean. Because hey, anyone's looking at it like you taking a chance. That proves that you're taking a chance by doing that. You're proving that, hey man, I want to make a change. I want to be a different woman. I want to be on fire for the Lord. And if the Most High sends me a husband, okay, cool. Hey, the body count really should be looked at as zero. Like as far as from what we look at it from in the world, that stuff is done. That's done. The sister is starting brand new and fresh when she comes in the Yahweh Shai. For those that don't believe, understandable how you could fall into that trap, because like the brother says, now it's just like, yeah, at what point is this not adultery? Because in Matthew 19, what do Yahweh Shai say, man? Let's get that real quick. Let's get that. What do Yahweh Shai say about that, man? That's all. We already know, thou shalt not commit adultery.
And that's the problem with people holding so tightly to the law. You know what I'm saying? Because they see that you can divorce her for any type of uncleanness, but then what did Yahweh say? There's only one real reason that you can divorce.
It's the book of 19, book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 9. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committeth adultery. And whoso marrieth her which is put away, doeth commit adultery. So even if a man even puts her away, see if she committed adultery or don't, another man comes there and marries her, that's committing adultery, man. Like it causes so much confusion. It's not even funny, man. Let's be real. I've always had something in my spirit. Even when I was in the world, I never wanted to be in. My parents divorced. It's like, at an age when I was 2. So I never seeing that. I never wanted to. When I got with someone, I never wanted to be a divorce. So that's the same mentality. Because when you get married, you're supposed to stay. You in it. You in it. You rocking. You know what I'm saying? If they commit adultery, Yahweh forbid, then that's another discussion. But you have the option of getting out of that contract if you do that, because that's a contract that's been breached, it's been broken. Outside of that mentality, a husband and a wife do their husband and wifely duties of what they're supposed to do according to the scriptures. Man lead, woman be submissive. Those are the key. And love your wife. Woman be submissive, show that respect onto your husband. That's what it is, man.
And it's crazy. Another thing that I've seen, not as much lately, but I did this week. There's certain sisters that seem to be in the truth, but then they don't want to get married. Right? Like they speak against it. Like, I'll wait till the kingdom to get married. I don't want no man here. They're too wicked. They're too this, that, and the other. But you have to understand that's what the Most High created you to do in the first place. Right? We'll go to Genesis. 2:18. It says, and Yahweh God said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet for him. The woman was made to help the man, and it says made for him. Then verse 24, therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And like the brother said, that's supposed to be like the vows that you take when you're in the world, till death do us part. Right? That's the way it was set up to be.
That actually ties into what I didn't read up ahead, actually, when he was speaking to the Pharisees, and said, he was quoting, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. Wherefore they are no more twain but one flesh. What therefore Yahweh have joined together, let not man put asunder.
Con.
But
But
hey, man,
a lot of men put that asunder, huh?
yeah, yeah, you can't be. People don't take it seriously, bro. Like this would be a whole other topic where we could talk all day about it. Like, cause it's a whole, bro. I'm telling you, man. You already know. Like, it's a whole other problem, bro. Like, Israel got to stop playing this musical chairs game, man. Just hey,
Con.
when you lay, you stay.
Con.
That's it.
Con.
You know. So women not trying to have a man into the kingdom. Like again, we're not telling you neither to again be thirsty for a man or anything like that. Just you should pray for one though. You should pray for one because you're not gonna be Xena the Princess Warrior, right? Wonder Woman, uh, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to Hawk Girl. You're not going to be Spider Girl, your Bat Girl. You're not going to be any of these women in the time of trouble. That's not how the Most High set it up. Seven, if that was the case, there wouldn't be no Isaiah 4:1. There would be no seven. If the Most High set it up like that, there'd be no Isaiah 4:1 where seven women are gonna please the one man. Why? Because they can deal with it all themselves.
Con.
But he made them to be together, right? One flesh. The woman came of the man. So this is the way the ordeal is set up. We're not making this up. This is what the Most High did according to the scriptures, and we're just trying to help our women get back because we know that the enemy has deceived them for a long time, and it feels good, but it's an illusion. It's an illusion.
Con. And you're not gonna realize. Most women aren't gonna realize it's an illusion until that illusion comes crumbling down, and they realize that they're uncovered. Right?
Con. Yeah. We mentioned that. Yeah, the sisters, when you leave, you gotta head to stay with them because if you don't pray for it, you leave that hedge, you leave that protection, man. That's the protection of Yahweh shot, just like we need. We leave Yahweh if we stop uh following the ways of Yahweh Shah, right? If we stop following Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, we lose our protection, and then it's fair game for us too.
Con.
Y'all gotta sincerely look at it like that, man.
So I'm gonna read Isaiah 32:2. It says, a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. Right? A covert from the tempest. So we read in Isaiah the 30th chapter, there's people that try and get that cover from Egypt, right? But that the real cover, according to Isaiah 32:2, is a man, which a man of the Most High, right? A real man is a man of the Most High.
God. Facts, man. That's the fact.
But I'm gonna touch on something real quick that you mentioned earlier, and it kind of reminded me of this verse. This Sirach 26:12. It says, "She will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when he has found a fountain, and drink of every water near her. By every hedge will she sit down, and open her quiver against every arrow." Right? Talking about, if you read the whole chapter, it's talking about a good and a wicked woman, or a good and a wicked wife. Right? So talking about a wicked woman, it says she will open her mouth at every thirsty traveler. Like how you were saying about being thirsty, right? There's a lot of women out here that are thirsty.
Yeah.
There's a lot of women that you'd be surprised that they claim to be in the truth, but like the brother said, they're basically playing musical chairs in brothers' houses, house to house to house.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's the truth right there. That's the truth, man. It's unfortunate, but that's got to be cleaned up. that's got to get cleaned up ASAP. Like brother said, that cat that's not a that's not supposed to be going around, because in that now the sister starts talking about stuff that have. If she's willing to do that, I'm willing to believe that she should be willing to talk about what the last brother did or with this.
Um,
And you're hearing that, like, yo, in your mind, you gotta pick off in your mind. Well, if she said this, she's saying this about him. How she not say this about me?
you're next.
Exactly, exactly. What's that saying? Is it was just your turn?
Con.
You know what I'm saying? That's not how it's supposed to be in this thing, man. That's like in the world. That's no different than in the world, man. How we operating? We are supposed to be in the so-called truth, right? And we still operating with this relationship situation as if we in the world the same way. I understand we learning, but it's that simple. If you don't want to marry the person, you don't sleep with them.
Con.
Don't even court them. Don't even try to court them if you don't have. If in your mind you're like, I'm not trying to, then don't. Hey, man, it's
Con.
that simple. Don't replace the just on the Nike with don't. Bryson Tiller, man, don't do it. You know, it's that simple, man. Because this stuff is serious. Like this is really a covenant with the Most High. You see stuff pop off with it, you're going in the wrong way. And it's especially really to brothers. We see really, especially the brothers and sisters that have been inducted into the faith. You know, initiated with the baptism into the faith. That really goes double. I'm telling y'all. I mean, we're not gonna get into a whole baptism lesson again, but that's really, it's that much more serious because you're taking that step. So I mean, hopefully for Akim and Knock off to realize how important that is, and then just that's the first step of understanding what we do when we're learning. You start taking it serious, man. If a man's doing stuff for you, doing it the right way, according to Yahweh Shemi Al Shah, let it be known, man. Operate. I think one of the brothers had questions, man. I don't know if he said Lou Swish, he said when it comes to putting women into the truth, what works better, going over the word with her or going through videos? Well, I mean, you go over the word, I mean, it's the same initiation process. I'm out pass the ball to Joakim, but the same initiation process with the women going to the men. Like, hey, for one, you gotta see if your spirit bear witness, because hey, another thing that's crazy is a lot of, right, because you could talk to like sisters, goes for sisters and brothers. You could come across women or men that they may like you, but they like you and they're just liking what you're saying because it's coming from you. It's not that it's actually, I got faith in Yahweh Shai or in Yahweh. It's that I like what you're saying. So because I'm interested in you for the moment, I'll play along. Yeah. Oh, you Israel? Yeah, I'm Israel too, man. I know about that. Yeah, the 12 tribes and all that stuff. Yeah. I was into that. I need to learn a little bit more. That was 2 years ago, man. You talking about, you found out about it 2 years ago, and now all of a sudden you saying I need to learn more, but you ain't been learning nothing, and in the whole 2 years. But now all of a sudden the sister comes and you interested in it. You be just playing. Brothers will just play the field just to say that because we know they trying to get. And same thing, sisters, they got their motives too. Hey, oh yeah, that sounds good. Oh, okay. Ain't never got no intentions of putting on a dress, a modest dress.
Yeah, modest dress.
You got to capitalize that.
And I know I've known at least a handful of sisters, and the same thing, going through the same situation. They're hasty to credit a brother. It's because they are saying, it's because it's coming from them and they want something from that sister. Oh yeah, I'm gonna start keeping the Sabbath. I'm gonna start doing this. I'm gonna start doing that. Meantime, like you said, they've known of the truth for months, years, and they haven't started doing it. And then sisters will give them a chance, and then it doesn't work out, and then they'll give them another chance, and it still won't work out. Right?
Yeah.
Like the scriptures say, as a dog returns to his vomit, right? That's how a lot of sisters or brothers are. They want to keep going back to that worldly type of man or woman. Like it said in 1 Timothy 5, where we started with, they're willing to cast off their faith so that they can marry.
Yeah, you can't. Can't sacrifice that. You gotta be willing to sacrifice these people that come like through in that regard. Like, hey, if it's not for you, the Most High let you know, man. If it's not for you, you know what I mean. We understand that, since someone who doesn't have a wife will go on mourning, man. I ain't been in this truth the whole time with a wife, man. So I understand, man. Like I get it. But and I've been through my things too. To keep it 100 with y'all. But anytime that it was a situation like worse was most of them until I got to where I'm at now. Like they weren't really seeking the same way, and I'm glad the Most High just gave me the spirit to be able to be like, it's not gonna work. It's no point. If you can't get what I'm saying, that's always a starting point. If it's not gonna work, if you can't do this, because this is ingrained into your life. The woman has to be willing to follow into that lead. You can't be unequally yoked with people, man. Even with friends, like you don't even want to be, unequally yoked with friends. How much more someone who's supposed to become one flesh with you, man?
And that's a beautiful spirit too. I've talked to my rib about that as well, where there's been a couple instances where we think about or entertain the idea of getting another wife, specifically with certain sisters, and if they can't even get the basic principles, the baptism, the repentance, the faith, the falling in line, there's no point in going any farther. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that like how the brother has said, you can't take a woman for lust, like Daniel Allah has said. I mean, a lot of brothers are taking women for lust, and then they're realizing that, hey, this is something that I shouldn't have done, and now they're stuck with that woman, or even worse, they're divorcing her for no reason, just letting her go.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. Exactly. There's a scripture that y'all brought out, Colossians 3:23. And whatsoever ye do, do it heartily as to the Lord, Yahushua, and not unto men. That's right. You gotta do this in faith, man. Anytime you're doing this thing and saying, let these commandments not be grievous to us, man, you're gonna do this in the faith of Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, man, not for someone, or man or woman, whatever the case may be, man. Because hey, these people could be gone out your life just like that. Now you got your relationship with the Most High. If he's rocking with you, that's the one that's most important, man, of all, man. How about Shimmy Yahushua, man?
And it's like I had done a lesson, I believe last week, about getting your light put out, and it says he who I believe it says dishonors his parents will have his light put out. And I mean, the Most High is the number one parent, right? Abanawa, our Father, that we're supposed to be pleasing. You want to keep disrespecting him and going against him, dishonoring him. I mean, that could very well happen, right? Which is something none of us would want.
Ah, man, it's a scary thing. That's a scary thing to be. Whew, yeah, walking in these, especially in these times, like to be so close too, man. Like that's a scary thing. That's a scary thing. Something you pray just doesn't happen, and pray you see through whatever it is. You rather just go through the end, no matter how gruesome it is. You rather endure to the end, because if you endure to the end for Yahweh's name's sake, you got it. You're gonna make it. But to fall off at this point is, man. We wanna. So the sisters, and that's the thing too. Again, yeah, that's black. Yeah, let's get that. Let's get that. I think it was yeah, Titus. Was it Titus 2:4? I think. Blaspheming the word.
2 and 5.
You can get it if you want, Knock. If you already there, I'm still pulling it up.
Okay, Khan. I'm gonna start on the verse 3.
All right.
The aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of Yahweh be not blasphemed.
And that even that love is philos, to be friendly, to be fond of. So it's not agape. Like where if you look on where husbands love your wives, it's a difference. It's just like with us, we have to be we're obedient, we're submissive to Yahweh Shai. No one's gonna make the argument. Me and nor the brother Joachim, I think I can speak for the both of us. No one's gonna make the argument that we love Yahweh Shai more than he loves us. So it really is the same thing for you sisters. Like, and we're not talking about guys that act like niggas. Like we're talking about brothers, like real brothers that truly like love you. Like you're not going to love that man more than a man of the Most High loves you. You know what I'm saying? Just the same. It's just this chain down order. Same thing with our children. It's a chain of the order. Not to say that there's not any love there. It's just saying it's gonna trickle down. So with that area, man, y'all understand just by being submissive. As long as we're being men of the Lord, right? Y'all should be operating as being women of the Lord, and that's being submissive to your husband in those times. So the word of God, the word of Yahweh is not blasphemed. That's Yahweh Shai. It literally, you're blaspheming when you're not. That's how serious it really is to buck up. And we know these curses are in effect, but you should be trying. You should, if you're throwing the towel on your husband or trying to obey what he's telling you at the crib, that's the word of Yahweh Shai being blasphemed every day, man. You know, it's serious, man. So sisters, you know, the times that are approaching up, man, gotta work on it, being mindful and respectful, man, and to the men of the Lord, just learning it, period, man. Just being on it. As long as he ain't telling you, if you can sense if he's telling brother telling you wickedness. If he's telling you wickedness, you know what it is. That's something different. We're talking about men that are really trying to lead you in this thing.
And what's crazy to me is that, or what shows, I guess you could say, that a sister is not really in the spirit is when you have so much love for her that you'll correct her with the scriptures, and she'll take that as hate, when it's actually the opposite.
Yeah.
Right? Like imagine Yahweh Shai was telling us, correcting us something with the word, and we get mad at him and we start raising our voice at him, or we start doing this, that's never gonna happen. So then that should never happen with the woman towards the man either.
Con out. Esau's done a number on us as a society. You know, that's our punishment for what's going off. Really, I mean, he's the weapon. These other nations are the weapons of Yahweh that he'll use. Yep, to punish us, to punish his children, man. So, you know, I mean, even though it's Esau, we understand it's really the Most High because you know we broke our end of the deal. You know, so that's what happens, and that's why we have these curses that we have today. But we fighting and trying to overcome, be sanctified, and get to the ways of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, following in truth and sincerity, man. So, man, call Allah Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. You know,
and that's why, like going back to Titus, the 2nd chapter, right? How it said, let me see, I dropped it. Well, just basically how it said, you know, you're supposed to love your husbands, you're supposed to teach your children, be keepers at home. Basically, you're supposed to build your houses, right? But if you think about it, our women, for the most part, weren't taught to love their husbands. They weren't even taught to love their children, right? Because our parents didn't do the same. And like it says in Ezekiel 16:44, it says, "As is the mother, so is the daughter." Right? So that's one of the reasons why. Let me get a 1 Peter 3:7. That's one of the reasons why we gotta have patience with them. Understand they're the weaker vessel,
Oh,
right?
that's right.
So this is first 3 and 7. But I'm gonna start on 6 actually. Even as Sarah obeyed him, calling him Lord, as ye are, as long as ye dwell and are not afraid with any amazement. Likewise, ye husbands dwell with him according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. Right? So we have to give honor to them, dwell with them according to knowledge, in other words, according to the word, right? Because like the brother said, if they're acting like any worldly dude, well, I mean that's a different story, right? But that's why it comes down to trying the spirit at the beginning before you even get into the marriage. Because once you're in, that's it, you're stuck. If you're gonna live by the word, that's for life, right? But as a man, you got to realize that they're the weaker vessel and give honor to that, and know that as the weaker vessel, there's a lot of strongholds on their mind, like the brother said, that have got to be broken, and that's gonna take some time. That's gonna take prayer. That's gonna take obedience. That's gonna take teaching.
Con, that's facts. Oh yeah, hey, I'm glad you brought that. I'm gonna get ready to go pretty soon, unfortunately. But the teaching, I'm gonna follow back up with you on that out. That's think it's time to bring that out. In Ephesians 5:22.
Calm.
Uh, Slack.
You're good. You're good.
All right, Ephesians 5. Pull it up real quick. Ephesians 5:22. Right. Start off at 20. Giving thanks always for all things unto Yahweh and the Father in the name of our Lord Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of Yahweh. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto Yahweh Shai, for the husband is the head of the wife, even as Hamashiach is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body. Therefore, as the church is subject unto Hamashiach, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. Husbands, love your wives, even as Hamashiach also loved the church and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word. So it's a process. That whole thing is a process. The whole parallel shows Yahweh Shai, the love he had for the whole body, the whole church, the men being the lead. So that's the parallel right there. And then the men to the woman. And the woman's always, the Most High is always use our women as a parallel to show sometimes how we be doing him. And he
Calm.
make our women go off on us for, how we be going off on him, man. So it's an exact parallel. So that love that you feel for a woman, well, the Most High has that love even in an even greater scale. Yahweh Shai, even greater scale for us. So just imagine that. Um, so it's like that's that heavy, man. Having the love and the submission, also going into it, the cleansing. Most the man, when everything is working in that order, the man is just as we're being cleansed by Yahweh Shai, being sanctified by woman's being should be being sanctified by their man in the Lord, cleansing by the washing of water by the word, which is sanctification. They're growing, should be growing. Should be a step forward.
Calm. a lot of brothers like to read 22 and then just stop right there, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I made sure I had to got to get the whole thing in perspective.
It's like any relationship is reciprocation, right?
Mhm.
It's the same thing with marriage. It says, wives, submit yourself to your own husbands as to Yahushai. But then it also says we have to love them the way Yahushai loved the church.
Come
Now,
on.
of course, we can't possibly even comprehend how much love Yahweh Yahushai has for us. But at the same time, we got to be willing, even if it came down to it, to lay down our lives for our wife, for our household, right?
Exactly. Exactly. You always see the man. That's why it's just set up that way. We understand the order. The man is set up to, hey, if someone comes knocking on the door, guess what? The man's going up. You a leader, protect your household, man. So that's
Con,
understood. That's understood. Anytime you see situations, you see a man will that loves his wife, right? Will jump in front of that woman to protect her, and understandably so. That's what it is. You know, um, period. Howard Shot took those hits for us, man. So, hey, man, you said it. You set it up straight up. That's the order. That's the way of how it goes. So, women just we almost to this thing, man. This wickedness is dying down ever more so as we see these signs approaching more. And, the ways of the wicked Esau, like him doing his thing, man. So hey, we gotta get it here. For y'all that I'm gonna get ready to sign off. Like, unfortunately,
con, con, con.
yeah, but they are sending me but yeah, just y'all sisters get baptized in the name of Yahweh Shai. Y'all brothers too, any brothers on here that haven't done so as well, obviously. Do that because important thing of faith. Refer back to the lesson that we got from that if you need further edification. But do that and start walking. Hey, walking this thing, man. Because a big thing of how we're servants to each other and servants how we treat each other in the kingdom, man. Like how we well to get to the kingdom, Salakia, like a way of getting to the kingdom. It's going to be based on too how we treat each other, man. That's even within the relationship. The Most High is looking at how you treat your man, how the man treats you. He's looking at these things, man. It's very important, very important. Love thy neighbor as thyself. One of the biggest, if not the one of the biggest commandments out, right? One of the greatest commandments.
Con, like Yahushua said, the greatest will be servant to all,
Con, con.
right? I think about that sometimes when I think it was a couple Sabbaths ago, and we had got some food for Sabbath, but we got a big household. We got six, and I was like, man, this ain't enough. It wasn't food. It was just like some snacks. I was like, this ain't enough for everybody. You know what? I just gave it out to everybody. I was like, I'm gonna take my hit on this one.
Yeah, con, no doubt. Amen. Rightfully so, man.
Con,
All right, yo, hey, man, it was good, man. I'm gonna chop it up with you pretty shortly, brother. Y'all were willing, man.
con.
Shalom to all the brothers on the sisters that stopped by on the live too. Hey, shalom to you, Akia. Shalom, y'all by Shimi al Barakatah.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Barakatah. So I'm gonna go to the brother had some things to do. I'm gonna go to Sirach, go back to Sirach 26 real quick, read a couple more scriptures, and then I'll go ahead and close it out. If anybody has any questions, you can ask in the next couple minutes, and I'll get them answered before I go ahead and close it out, right? So I'm gonna go to Sirach 26, and let's see, I already read 12. I'm gonna read Sirach 26 and 14. Silent and loving woman is a gift of Yahweh, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. Right? So I've came across more than a few sisters that they think that they will be a gift to a man, right? They think He's got to have this. He's got to be that. He's got to have a nice car. He's got to have a big home. He's got to be able to buy me this and that. And in reality, man, right? It says a silent and loving woman is a gift of Yahweh. Instead of walking in that silent and that submissive, that humble, meek spirit, a lot of sisters are walking in that Proverbs 9 and 13, foolish and clamorous spirit, right? Proverbs 9 and 13 says a foolish woman is sinful and she's clamorous and she knoweth nothing, right? She's simple and knoweth nothing. A clamorous woman, a lot of women are clamorous, loud, right? They're contentious. When it says here, a silent and loving woman is a gift of Yahweh. And there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. A lot of them had brought out Isaiah 3 and 12 don't want to have their mind instructed, right? They're know-it-alls. They just want the man to go along with what they say. They want to be the head, right? It says there's nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. There's nothing worth more than a woman's mind that you can instruct, and she's gonna start living off of that instruction, right? She's gonna start living off of that counsel. In the last live that me and the brother Jomar did, it was about counsel, and it said, "There's many devices in a man's heart, but the counsel of Yahweh will stand." Right? If a woman can take grasp on that counsel, there is nothing so much worth that, right? Because like I said, most women, men as well, but talking about a good and bad wife here, most women don't want to have that mind well instructed, right? I'm gonna jump down to verse 22. A harlot shall be accounted as spittle, but a married woman is a tower against death to her husband. Right? So a harlot, a whore, shall be accounted as spittle. And this is something like when we're bringing out Isaiah 4 and 1, right? This is something that we're starting to see more and more and more. Because when I remember when I was first coming into this truth about 5 years ago, and I was seeing certain brothers, even brothers that I would look up to, that were taking a wife or taking wives that weren't in the spirit of a wife. Let's just say that, right? They didn't really look. Their spirit, their physical appearance wasn't of what you would consider a godly woman, right? They were looking like harlots, acting loud, clamorous, things like that. A harlot shall be accounted as spittle. But as we get closer and closer and closer to Isaiah 4 and 1 actually happening, as we see more prophecies come to pass, like the brother had said, I mean, a lot of brothers that are sincere in this thing are starting to see like, hey, I'm not even going to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Too many things are happening. Too many prophecies are coming to pass for me to even put that into my house, right? And harlots and clamorous women and that feminist Israelite, Femilite, a brother had called them a Femilite a few lives back, a few weeks ago. Those Femilites, those feminist Israelites, that type of woman is not going to be put up with in these last days by real men of the Most High, right? But a godly woman, but a married woman is a tower against death to her husband, right? Come on, the Bible said deep ditches, right? Deep ditches. That's where whores are, right? According to the scriptures. But a married woman is a tower against death to her husband. But a married woman can be that every once in a while she can be that tower against death, right? If I wasn't married, I know there's many times I could have just gone off. I could have been like, well, nobody's gonna know. I could just go do this, right? Or like the example I gave earlier, there's been times, one time in particular, where I was thinking about courting another female to get a second wife, second wife, talked to her, things of that nature. She was like, something seems off about her, right? She told me, and I was like, what do you mean? And she pointed out a few things that that turned out to be true, right? She was a tower against death. A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that feareth Yahweh. Right? So sister had posted this verse yesterday on the last live, and she said, well, what if the woman is wicked but the man is righteous? Right? A man that's trying to live righteously is not going to take a wicked woman as a wife, or vice versa, right? So if you might maybe over here thinking this man is so righteous, this, that, and the other, and then he takes a wicked woman as his wife, well, guess what? That just shows what his heart is, right? Like in First Peter 3:8, it says, "Be ye of one mind," right? Be of one accord, and this is talking about the man and the woman. How can you be of one mind and on one accord with a woman if she's wicked and you're trying to live righteously, right? So a wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man. That's a lot for that wicked man. He wants to be wicked. All right, here you go. Here's a wicked woman for you. It's like the brother Azariah said. A lot of times, the woman, the wife, wicked woman, well, guess what? That man is under Yahweh Shai and Yahweh, right? That woman represents the same thing that he's doing to the Most High. So now, okay, you want to be disobedient to me? This is Yahweh, right? You want to be disobedient to me? You want to do, well, be disrespectful? I'm going to give you a disrespectful, disobedient woman, and she's going to be in your house now, right? Now you got to deal with her for the rest of your life, right? Like in Proverbs, I forgot the verse, but it says a contentious woman is like a continual dripping on a rainy day, right? A contentious woman that just wants to just go against you with everything you do, everything you say, right? On a rainy day, you just hear that dripping and dripping and dripping. That's how a wicked woman is, right? She's just gonna vex you and vex you and vex you and vex you, disrespect you and dishonor you, be a loudmouth, right? But a godly woman is given to him that feareth Yahweh. So for the sisters that want to be married, right? If you want to be given to a man that fears the Most High, what do you got to do according to this verse? Sirach 26 and 23. The second part says, but a godly woman is given to him that feareth Yahweh, right? So if you want to be given to a man of the Most High, the number one thing you should be trying to do or striving to be is a godly woman, right? Because a wicked woman is given to a wicked man. If you want to keep being wicked, but you expect to be put with a righteous man that's going to cover you in these last days, that's not going to happen. You're going to be given to a wicked man, right? You reap what you sow. But a godly woman is given to him that feareth Yahweh, right? I'm going to jump down to 25. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, but she that is shamefaced will fear Yahweh, right? A shameless woman will be counted as a dog, right? We know what a female dog is, right? That's what a shameless woman is going to be counted as. But she that is shamefaced will fear Yahweh. So shamefaced means modest, or let me give you an example, right? My daughter, for example, my oldest daughter, who's 12, she likes to wear head wraps now, and she was kind of mentioning I like to wear it because I don't like people looking at me. I like to cover my face and things like that, right? That's being shamefaced. A lot of women are not walking in the spirit of being shamefaced. A lot of women are the opposite of that, right? They are shameless. They want to be showing their body, right? They want to have their breasts popping out. They want to be showing their legs. Even if not that, like the brother Azariah had said about, oh, she's got to wear dresses, and then he corrected himself. He said she's got to wear a modest dress, right? A lot of these women that are in the truth, okay, are still shameless because they want to show all the outlines of their body. They got a dress on, yeah, but it's skin tight, right? Leaves nothing to the imagination, right? So that's the opposite of being shamefaced. A shamefaced woman is going to be moving in modesty. She's not going to want so much attention. But a lot of women, like I said, not all women, but a lot of women that claim to be in the truth, right? So it says, but she that is shamefaced will fear Yahweh. If you really fear Yahweh, you're not going to want all that attention, right? Because what is that? It's vanity. And it's also causing men to lust, right? Which counts against you because you're suffering sin upon men, right? I'm going to read verse 26. A woman that honoreth her husband shall be judged wise of all, but she that dishonoreth him in her pride shall be counted ungodly of all. So a woman that honors her husband will be counted wise of all, right? A lot of women, like I said earlier, there's a lot of women that claim to be in the truth and they don't even want a husband, right? So you don't even want to do what you were created to do, because like we read in Genesis, the woman was created for the man, right? But you also don't want the opportunity to be considered wise of all, to be judged wise of all. Because it says a woman that honors her husband will be judged wise of all, right? When you really think about it, for a woman, that's all you got to do. If you're married to a man of the Most High, all you got to do is honor him and fulfill your duties as a wife and as a mother, right? But she that dishonoreth him in her pride shall be counted ungodly of all, right? So I'm gonna finish with what we started. As we just read, a woman that honors her husband will be judged wise of all. So this is why in First Timothy, this is why Paul said this, right? In First Timothy, Paul said, verse 14. I will therefore that the younger women marry, bear children, guide the house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. For some are already turned aside after Satan. Right? Paul said, I would rather, it is better for the young women to marry, have children, guide their houses, so that they don't give an occasion, they don't give the opportunity for Satan to speak reproachfully, right? To hey, Yahweh, look, look at what these women are doing. They're not guiding their houses, right? They're being idle. They're doing things that they should not. When you read through the whole chapter, right? So it says, I will therefore that the younger women marry, bear children, guide the house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully, right? So like we read in Isaiah 4:1, in that day when Jacob's trouble happens, there's going to be a lot of women that want to take away that reproach, the reproach that Paul's speaking of right here, right? So what are you going to choose? So the single sisters, what are you going to choose? Reproach or a covering, right? And not the covering of Egypt, because like we mentioned earlier, the covering of Egypt, women that cover themselves with Egypt, that trust in this system, what are you gonna do? All of you women that trust in this system, let's say you get food stamps, you get housing, you get Medicaid, all of these things, right? And I'm not saying don't do that, right? But what I'm saying is if you trust in that, what are you gonna do? What are you going to do, sisters that say, oh, I would never vax, right? I would never do it. But then you depend on the covering of Egypt. You depend on the system in order to eat, in order to feed your children, in order to have a house, in order to, if anything were to happen to you and you got to go to the hospital or something, what are you going to do when they say, all right, you got to get the jab in order to feed your children, right? You can, no more food stamps, no more housing, no more nothing unless you get the jab, right? That's where the real test of faith is going to come in. That's where we're going to see who really, not just sisters, but men as well, but speaking specifically to you sisters that are uncovered, right? Because we know the mandatory vaccine is coming, right? They're already mandating it in other countries. In the Philippines, like I said, in order to buy, in order to go to like a store and buy groceries, you got to have proof of it. So what are you going to do when that happens here? Right? You got to get it. You got to have proof of it. So what are you going to do when that happens here? Right? Are you going to be covered by Egypt? Or are you going to be covered by a man of the Most High that's going to know what to do? That's going to have prepared for these types of situations, right? So that's just a question to ask yourself, right? Reproach or a covering, Egypt or a man of the Most High, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and finish it with that. Give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. Hope you'll have a Nashar Shabbat, a happy and a peaceful Shabbat.